The radar screen dies. Black glass. No sweep. No return. He's high over the Pacific, and somewhere in this darkness a Japanese bomber is minutes from the airfield. Men are asleep in the barracks below. The guns on the ground can't fire without a target. His radar operator slams the unit. Nothing. Checks the breaker. Still dead. No moon tonight. A cloud deck sits below them. He can't even see his own wingtips. The P-61 is built to hunt with radar. Without it, he's just a black shape in a black sky. Ground control crackles in. A bearing. No altitude, no speed. That's not guidance. That's a guess. He banks, drops, stares into empty dark. The bomber could be anywhere inside a wide cone ahead. Fuel is already tight. At the end, you'll hear exactly how he tracked what the radar couldn't find. The left engine coughs. The oil needle slides down. He eases the throttle back. It smooths out, but he's slower now. Every second is a gift to the bomber. His gunner snaps on the intercom. Shadow, 2 o'clock. Low. He pushes the nose down. Dives. The shape melts into the cloud before he can close. He pulls up hard. The airframe shudders and the oil light flickers. That engine is bleeding. He breaks through thinner cloud and catches it, one dark twin-engine silhouette for a heartbeat. Big, heavy, he closes fast. His finger finds the trigger. The bomber banks violent. It knows. 3 flares tumble out. White suns. His night vision shatters. Darkness is gone, replaced by pure blind light. After images burn purple across the glass, he jerks away on instinct. The P-61 shudders again. He's just overstressed the airframe at the worst moment. His eyes crawl back. The bomber is gone. No silhouette, no sound. Nothing. The radar operator rips panels off the dead set. Sparks, smoke, still black. Ground control is yelling new calls, but they're already old. He chops power and listens. There, low drone, far off, southwest. He shoves the throttles forward. The left engine hesitates, coughs smoke, then catches. He dives toward the sound. No fuel left for another search pattern, no second pass. If he misses, the bomber hits the field. If that engine quits, he's in black water. This is the point of no return. The P-61 Black Widow was built for one job: hunt in total darkness. Radar in the nose, cannons under the belly, a night killer. But when the radar goes dead, the whole machine turns stupid, heavy, blind. And out here, blind means dead. He's tracking by sound now. A low drone ahead, bouncing off the cloud deck like a lie you can't pin down. The left engine runs hot. The needle climbs past where it should ever be. He sees it. He ignores it. He keeps closing. Still no clean visual. Just darkness and brief hints. Shapes that vanish the moment he believes them. The bomber knows the terrain. It drops lower, hugging ridgelines, trying to make him commit into the ground before he can fire. Then his gunner snaps, sharp and certain. A glint. Glass. Half a heartbeat of reflected light. There. The bomber's canopy. He lines up. The bomber jinks. He follows. The right engine surges. The left one stumbles. The whole airframe starts to shake. Hard, violent vibration that isn't fear. It's structure. It's metal complaining. He squeezes the trigger. The cannons erupt. The night turns white-orange in strobing bursts. Tracers stitch forward like a burning road. Impacts walk across the bomber's wing. Skin tears. Pieces peel away and tumble into nothing, but it stays airborne. The bomber shoves the nose down in a desperate dive. He follows without thinking. The world rushes up. Ridge, trees, rock. All of it suddenly visible in muzzle flash. This isn't an escape now. It's a trap. The bomber is trying to drag him into the mountainside. The left engine quits for real. Dead. The prop starts windmilling. He hits the feathering control. The blade angle changes. The drag eases, but now he's on one engine. The P-61 yaws hard. He slams in opposite rudder, fighting it, trimming with one hand while holding the nose with the other. The bomber pulls up at the last possible second and climbs away. He can't follow. Too heavy. Too slow. One engine. The bomber is slipping back into the dark. What happens next is why night fighter crews called this twin-boom design a genuine lifesaver. His radar operator does something reckless. He tears open the radar housing, yanks the breaker, counts fast, then slams it back in. The screen flickers. Static, a sweep, another sweep, a blip, faint, intermittent, but real. The bomber is ahead and climbing, trying to reach altitude and safety. He pushes the remaining engine past every sane limit, manifold pressure up, temperature rising. The aircraft strains but tracks straight, wide tail, twin booms. Stability, where a lighter fighter would start to roll and die. He closes. Fast. The bomber's tail gunner finally sees him. Green tracers arc back through the dark, close enough to feel like heat. A round punches through one boom. Sparks spray. No fire. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't break off. He just keeps closing. The bomber dives again. Same desperate trick. This time he doesn't chase it down. He stays just high enough to survive. He waits, counts in his head. The bomber has only two choices, pull up or hit the water. 3, 2, 1. It pulls up hard, right into his firing cone. He squeezes the trigger and holds it, a long, brutal burst. The cannons hammer. Tracers walk straight into the fuselage. Then the bomber flashes, one violent bloom of orange and white, and it's gone. Fire breaks apart into burning pieces that fall toward the Black Sea. The airfield is safe. Men in the barracks will wake up in a few hours and never know how close it came. He banks away from the falling debris and looks down at his panel. Fuel is low. One engine. Hydraulics bleeding out. He reaches for the gear switch. Nothing. Of course, he goes to the manual system. The crank handle feels like a joke. Turn after turn after turn, the radar operator unbuckles, crawls forward and takes a turn. Then they swap. Again. Again. Arms burning, sweat slick on knuckles, the gear grinds down like it's fighting them. First main gear locks. A green light. Relief, small, fragile. Then the other main. Another green. The nose gear hesitates, halfway, stuck. They crank harder. Teeth clenched, shoulders shaking. It finally drops. 3 greens. All locked. He lines up for home. The field is lit now. Crash crews wait beside the runway. Fire trucks. Ambulance. Everyone expects him to come in broken. He has no flaps, no hydraulic help. He's fast, and he knows it. He doesn't have the luxury of perfect. The island rises in the windscreen. The runway threshold rushes at him. He kills the last engine and commits to the glide. Touchdown hits like a punch. The gear slams the concrete. One tire blows instantly. Rubber shreds. The rim spits sparks. The aircraft yanks to one side. He stands on the brakes with everything he has. It holds, barely. The P-61 skids, half sideways, metal screaming, smoke pouring behind it. The brakes start to fade. He pumps them, prays, feels them bite again for a second, just long enough. The aircraft finally stops, close enough to the overrun that he can see grass through the side window. Silence. Just wind outside and the ticking of cooling metal. They pull him out through the hatch. His hands won't let go of the control stick. Fingers locked like claws. They have to pry them loose. On the ramp, the damage looks unreal. The radar set is dead for good. One engine cooked solid, the other punched and leaking. Stress lines in the tail booms. Gear twisted and tired like it wants to fold even now. The crew chief walks around it once, then again, shaking his head. Later, he tells the pilot the truth. It shouldn't have flown at all. Not like that. Not on one engine. Not in total darkness. But somehow it did. Here's what makes it stick. The next morning they didn't have a story. They had proof. wreckage on the reef, bomb racks, fragments with markings. Intelligence called it a Mitsubishi G4M Betty, a bomber built to carry a heavy load and burn targets off the map. And the target wasn't somewhere on the island. It was specific. Fuel. Barracks. The kind of hit that doesn't just kill men. It erases the airfield. If the fuel dump went up, the fire would have run like gasoline across everything. The island knew that. Everyone who slept there knew that. Then the pilot did something nobody expected. Days later he asked for the same aircraft again. Same serial, same call sign, the same widow that had come back cracked and bleeding. They swapped the radar set, replaced the dead engine, bolted reinforcement plates onto the booms, patched what could be patched. The crew chief told him he was crazy. There were newer P-61s available, cleaner airframes, safer choices. He refused them, because in the dark he trusted what had already saved his life, and that decision got tested. Over the next months, the radar didn't stay perfect. It faltered. It flickered. It lied at the worst moments, twice. Both times they still made contact. Both times they still came home, because they learned how to hunt without the one tool the aircraft was built around. And on the last mission that mattered, the danger wasn't even Japanese fire. It was friendly guns. Tracers climbed out of the sea like angry fireflies. The cockpit flashed green-white. The right boom kicked hard as rounds hit metal. The smell of hot oil and scorched paint filled the cabin in seconds. For a moment, the aircraft felt weightless, like it wanted to roll and fall away. He forced it level. He landed it anyway, again. You'll hear in a second why that final mission mattered. By the time they finally retired that airframe, it wasn't because it failed. It was because it survived too much. Patches over patches. Stress lines that never truly heal. An aircraft can win every fight and still be used up. One crew, one night fighter, one damaged machine that refused to quit. The radar operator who forced a dead screen to flicker back to life. The gunner who caught a single glint of glass. The pilot who tracked by sound when he had no other option. That's what stopped the strike. They gave the crew a short leave after the mission. When they came back, the crew chief was already tearing down the left engine. He held up the oil filter like evidence from a crime scene. Metal, shavings where there should have been none. He poured them into his palm. They looked like glitter. They felt like sand. An engine shouldn't make its own sand and keep running. He told them the engine had been eating itself from the inside for days, maybe longer. On paper, it should have failed in the air. Catastrophic. No warning. No second chance. A dead engine at night over black water. But it didn't do it. It kept running until they were on the ground. The pilot asked how that was possible. The crew chief just stared at the parts and said he didn't know. Bearings don't usually survive that. Metal doesn't forgive. But the proof was in his hands. And the months after proved something else. They kept flying combat missions into March of 1945. Not always in that same airframe. But the pattern stayed the same. Broken gear, failing systems, darkness that hides everything, and crews that still bring the aircraft back. Squadron records showed damaged returns again and again, on reduced power, partial controls, whatever still worked. After the war, the pilot went civilian, instructor work, decades of it. When students asked about night fighting, he didn't sell them a legend. He taught the only thing that matters when everything fails at once, systems management. Backup procedures, how to keep flying when the checklist stops being useful. The widow from that night didn't get a museum. It sat, then moved, then got cut up for aluminum. That's how it went for thousands of machines that saved lives. They did the job, and the world moved on. But the result didn't move on. Men woke up because a bomber never reached the fuel. A base stayed operational because one crew found a target after the radar died. And a night fighter came home with damage it had no right to survive. That's the story. No speeches, no lessons carved into stone. Just a machine, a problem, and a crew that refused to lose in the dark. If you want another one like this, I've got more. See you next time.